Alright, a very warm welcome to everyone here. Just to check, can you hear me? Can you give me a sign from the chat box if you can hear me? Thank you. Right, thanks. Okay, thank you. Right, so we shall start our session. Right, so I see we have around 48 of us here. Some of you have just ended the part-time orientation with Ashwini this morning, and we do see also some existing students, or you are our current student, right? So you are joining this session. All right. Okay. Welcome everyone. Okay. Now, so this morning we are going to share with you a little bit about how do we complete our PER. Okay. So just give me a minute. I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, just a quick reminder for everyone, if you don't mind, please do mute your mic to avoid any interruptions throughout the session. You can unmute your mic later on when you feel like asking questions, but while my colleague is presenting, I would like to ask everyone of a favor to just turn to turn off your mic. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you can turn off your mic now. Later we'll have a session that you can ask questions. All right. Then you can turn on your mic. Okay, this is to minimize the disruption because our environment may not be quiet enough. Okay. Just a minute. There are still someone coming in. Alright, can everyone see my screen now with white background? Okay, good. Right, so we have briefed you a little bit about your tuition, all right, with us in KDU. So now we are going to talk about a little bit more, all right, than just studying. Of course, what our aim is here to become an accountant, all right. So other than passing your exams, whether you have last 4 papers to go or you are starting from skill level, all right. Anyhow, by the end of our journey in your ACCA, all right, after you have completed all the exams, this is the thing that we have to do is compulsory, which is called practical experience requirement. I believe some of you has already learned about this a little bit, all right, but you may not know how to complete it, right? So yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Sujin, all right, or you can call me Kok. I'm from Professional Accountancy Center, PAC, and I'm very glad that I'm sharing this session with you here. This is the first time I do this virtually. We do this in campus. Right. So, this. Okay. Now, right. So this is our rundown for our session today. I'll take around say 40 minutes, right? Around 40 minutes, I think. All right. For this introduction on your PER. So I'm going to cover the intro. And we are going to talk about the time that you have to achieve and what are the objectives that you are expected to complete. Okay? Who and how can you search for your workplace supervisor, right? And who are the approved employees in the market? We'll touch a little bit about ethics, which I think you have already learned during your briefing this morning, all right? And of course, how do we plan our whole PER, right? So this is what we're going to do this morning. Okay, we are still some camera in. Okay, sorry for the disruption. Right. So let's go straight to the point. Now, for you to achieve ACCA membership, there are 3 things that you have to complete. First, of course, you have to complete your exam, all the ACCA exams, and pass, right? Second thing will be your ethics, okay, your EPSM module. Number 3 will be recording your experience, right? So these are the 3 things that you must complete before you call yourself as an ACCA member. All right, now let me check. Now all of us here are still studying ACCA, right? So what do we call ourselves as? ACCA students, all right? You're either our part-time students, full-time students, or maybe you are learning online, so you're our online platform students. Okay, ACCA students. So once you have completed your exam, say you have completed all the papers in ACCA, but you have not started to work yet, right? And you have not gained the membership yet. You cannot call yourself as an ACCA member yet, and we'll call you as ACCA affiliate, right? Affiliate. Okay. Only when you complete these 3 blue boxes here, these 3E, then only you can apply to become an ACCA membership, and thereafter you can use your ACCA membership to apply as an MIA member, right? MIA member, right? So this is the rough idea that you have to know in order for you to gain a membership under ACCA, right? Now, so when we talk about recording our experience, the third E here, right? Okay. So basically there are 2 main points that you have to remember. First, we are recording the time, which is the 36 months or 3 years. Secondly, will be your performance objective, right? These are the 2 things that you have to achieve, the time and the objective, right? And this morning, the first part that I'm going to cover will be mostly on this time and also this performance objective, right? Okay. So, why do you think ACCA wants us as a student, all right, to record all our experience, right? Now, this is because they want us to reflect, all right, that we have learned something relevant to accounting or finance in our role, in our daily working life, right? As we know, as an accountant nowadays, we don't really do only double entry and keying in, inputting data, right? We have AI, we have software, we have programs that can help us to do all these things. But the thing is, nowadays, the role of accountant is changing, right? So we have to reflect, all right, that we are adaptable to the changes, all right, and we are ready, all right, to face all these changes, and we can be the leader, all right, to lead all these changes. So you say so, but you have to prove it, right? That's why we record it, right, in our system. Later, I'm going to talk about how do you record this to show ACCA that you have this ability. Right? Okay, so let's go to the first point. Okay, I mentioned just now we have time and objective. Okay, so the first title that we are going to cover here will be the time. Now, so how many months or how many years, all right, that we need in order for us to gain enough experience as an accountant, right? So the timing fixed by ACCA is 3 years or 36 months, right? Even you go to the MIA website, okay, say students, they do not have a professional accountant certification. Say I have a degree in accountancy from, say, right now. Then you want to use this qualification to apply for MIA member. You may, all right, but still, if you check from MIA website, they will still require you to have experience of 3 years of experience, right? It's the same, 36 months. So how do we record this 36 months, right? Now, the layout that you can see from my screen now is a screenshot from the ACCA website. So just now when Ashwini asked about, has anyone here has not done your initial registration with ACCA? I saw some of you have not done it yet, all right? Now, for existing students or those who have just registered under ACCA, you will know that you have a 7-digit number, right? Either start from 3 or 4, right? Newer students start from 4, right? Senior students start from 3. This is your ACCA number. Once you key in your ACCA number, input the password, you will log in to your My ACCA portal. So under this portal, you are going to see on the left panel, all right, there is a place called My Experience. All right, I repeat, My Experience. And you click in this My Experience, this is where you can record the time and you can record the progress of gaining your experience, right? So once you click in on My Experience, this is the layout that you are seeing here. Alright, this one I screenshot from somebody who has done halfway, right, on this PER. Okay, sorry, please allow me to pause for a while. Okay, right. So there's two pie charts that you can see here. The first pie chart here talks about how much time have we achieved. Just now we mentioned you have to achieve 36 months. So in this example, this student has completed 17 months. Alright, so you look at the pie chart, it's like half filled. Alright, half completed, 17 months. The second pie chart here is talking about the performance objective. Out of all the performance objectives, how many objectives have you achieved, have you completed, right? So this is an overview of your current situation, the time and the objective, right? So now we're going to focus on the timing. So let's look at this. So how do we record time? Okay, now you may ask me, okay, so if I'm now studying my ACCA, I just started, all right, I'm going to start my ACCA study next month or this month itself, or next week. So I have already gained working experience. Maybe last year I started working for 1 year. So now I have just started my ACCA. Is my previous working experience counted? Right, the answer is yes, all right. And of course, when you're studying as part-time students, you may also, work and study at the same time. So during your studies, the experience gained is also taken into account. After you have completed your ACCA, all right, those working experience, of course, it will be counted. So in short, experience that you gained before, during, and after your studies is also counted as your experience, right? So everything, right, before, during, and after, you are going to record. Now, say for example, when you click into this employment here, right, you are required to add your employer's name, put down the company name, for example, Accounting Solutions in Berhad, put down the name of the company, right? And they will ask you to put down your job title. Say for example, I work as tax assistant, right? When do I start working here? Put down the start date. End date, if you're still under the employment, just leave it blank until there's one day that you are leaving the company or you resign, then you fill up this end date, right? And if your job is 100% relevant, right, to finance or accounting, then you put 100% here, right? If you're working as tax, working in tax department, audit department, or accounting department, all this, of course, it will be 100% relevant, right? But not necessary that you have to work in a firm, accounting firm, in order to call it as a relevant job. Okay? For example, if I'm working with a company, say for example DHL, okay, I work in a logistic company, right? But I'm working in the finance department in this company, logistic company, then it is still considered as a relevant role, right? As long as relevant role, you are going to put your 100%. Okay? But if you're telling me, what if I'm working in say for example, a restaurant, all right? So in the morning when I check in at 8, all right, 8 to 1, I'm working in the front counter, meaning maybe I prepare in the kitchen, or I work as a cashier, I work as a waitress or waiter for the half day. All right, then the next half of the day, I will hide in the office and I do the back-end accounting job, for example, right? Then your job is not 100% related, right, to accounting. Your time during your daily working hours is separated by 50% related, 50% unrelated, right? So if that's the case, then in this percentage here, you're going to put 50, all right, 50. All right, but I believe most of us are working in relevant role here, right? If you're working, so just put down here, right? Put down the average hours you work per week. I think 35 is the maximum that you can put, right? And also put down whether you are working with an ACCA approved employer. Okay, what is this? I'm going to explain to you in a short while, right? Okay, then just put down the relevant information that is required, right? So after you have input, okay, it will be summarized here, right? Now, if one day you have decided to leave the company, Alright, then you can basically edit your role and key in the end date. For example, in this case, this student stopped working at 19 June 2015. You just put down the end date and the system will auto-calculate for you. Start date, end date, how many months have you achieved? Right? So this is how we do and how we record your time. Okay, easy, right? Just put the start date and end date. So usually for this recording of time, right, you do not really need to, change the end date every month, every year, unless you are changing your employment that soon. Otherwise, you will only fill this up maybe before you leave the company. You just put down the last day that you are working with this company, and the system will auto-calculate for you. How many months have you achieved? Right? Okay. Let me admit another student join. Right. Okay. Right. So once you key in the end date, right, you see that in this pie chart there's only 17 months. Okay, let me ask you a question. If I'm working in this company for 17 months, right, it's not achieving yet, right, the 36 months in total. So what about the remaining months? Right, can I gain my experience from different company, or should I stick with the same company for the whole 36 months? What do you think? Same company, or can I gain the experience from different company? Let me check your answers. You may give me your comments. Right? Do you think I should stick with the same company, or I can work with different company for the 36 months? Alright, so I have Jenna, Kame, and Yvonne here. Yep, you can work with different company. Okay, say for example, 17 months under the same company, the next 12 months another company, right, and so on. Okay, even though it's different company, you can still record extra time. Okay, extra time to fulfill the 36 months requirement. Right, good. Okay, so once you have done with the end date, alright, now, and you are going to click the claim time now under the claim time tab. Once you click claim time, right, you claim, right? Okay, but we always, auditors or accountants, we always talk about proof. Okay, I can just simply key in, I say I achieved 36 months, or I say I have already achieved 32 months, but how do you prove it? Right, anyone can just key in any date. Okay, now, so as a proof or supporting, now, when you click the claim this time, ACCA will ask for a detail of your superior. Right? Now, say for example, when I request for the time, I need approval. And this approval comes from a practical experience supervisor. Right? The next part we are going to talk about supervisor. Right? Who and how can you get this supervisor? Right? So here I'll just pause for that portion first. We'll come back. How do we claim this time? Say Malcolm Tucker is my practical experience supervisor. I'm going to choose his name here and submit. Alright, once I click submit, Malcolm Tucker as my supervisor will receive an email. Alright, and he is required, alright, to approve the 17 months that I have claimed. Then only consider the 17 months is completed and recorded in the system. Alright, so this is how we claim for the time. Alright, so basically it's quite simple. Key in the start and end date, alright, and then claim the time and wait for the approval. Once it's approved, then it will reflect, alright, in your pie chart. That's it. Okay, now for this timing, any questions so far before I proceed to the next part of the discussion, which is our PO, performance objective. I think it's quite clear, right, for this time. Right? Okay. Right, so I'll just proceed. Now, the next part that we're going to look at will be your performance objective. Now, there are a total of 9 performance objectives that you have to achieve. So, namely 5 essentials, right, and 4 technicals. 5 essential, 4 technical. When you add up together, it will be 9. Right, so these are your 9 performance objectives that you must achieve. Now, so what are these performance objectives? Basically, this performance objective is like our KPI, like our key performance indicator. Right? If you have learned this in your management paper, or you have done your KPI in your company, we always have a lot of criteria that you have to fulfill, right? You yourself will do a self-assessment, or your manager will give you marks, right, to see whether you fulfill the objective or the requirement before I give you bonus, correct? Okay, so this performance objective also works similarly to the KPI. It is an indicator, all right, to prove that we have performed effectively in our workplace, all right? And we have achieved the minimum standard required by ACCA. And this performance objective, which I'm going to show you in a short while, you will only achieve this performance objective if you are working in a relevant role, right? Relevant means related to accounts, finance, right? Relevant role. And this performance objective is linked to one or more of your exam papers, right? Now, each performance objective, they are unique, they are special, not duplicating, not repeating, and how you achieve the performance objective and how I achieve the objective may be different because we are working under different conditions, right? The way that we are working will be different. So the way that I achieve this objective will not be the same. Right, let's go into the objective. This is some of the objectives that you can see, number 1 to 8 here. Right, contoh example. Okay, this is to show you how does the PO link to the exams. All right, say for instance, we take strategy and innovation. We talk about technology. We talk about how do we set up a company strategy. All right, say for example, under this, COVID-19 situation, all right, we cannot maintain our current strategy, right, to maximize profit or something like that. Okay, now we are to sustain and to stay alive, right, in this situation. So what are the strategy, right? So if you think that you have achieved this performance objective, all right, then you can basically go into this performance objective and start recording. And the papers that are linked to this strategy and innovation, for those who are in P level now, you may understand this well. You learn strategy a lot in your SBL. And of course, we talk about financial decision, investment decision, hedging, and so on. Right? All this you learn in your finance paper, AFM. Right? And of course, when we talk about strategy, right, we can't forget the paper APM. Okay, how do you manage a company? Okay, what are the strategy and so on. Okay, so this is an example. All PO here are linked to one or more papers, right? Okay. Now, so what are the 9 objectives you can see here, right? There's only 8 here. Okay, so we are going to look at the 5 plus 4. Okay, now you can see this 5 on your screen. Essentials means it is compulsory to complete all 5. No option, no choice, all right? Number 1 to 4. If you can go through, I'm not going to read one by one. This 5 PER, all right, 5 PO, performance objective, you have to complete all 5, right? Now, next 4, right? 5 essential, 4 technical. Now, for this 4 technical, there are a wide range of PO for you to choose from number 6 all the way to number 22. Right? Out of all these PO here, performance objective, you only need to choose 4. Right? You only need to choose 4. Okay? Now, I am not going to go into very technical of what are these 5 and what are these 22, right, in total POs here. If you want to know more, you may get the detailed guidelines, all right, from ACCA website, where they have issued a booklet. In this booklet, they explain all these performance objectives one by one, giving you example, right? You can read through. If you cannot find the booklet, you let us know. I'll email you a copy, right? Otherwise, you search, all right, on the Google website. Okay. Now, so any 4 from this list, right? Now, say for example, I take instant tax assistant. Just now we have an example at tax assistant. So if you look at this taxation heading here, there's only 1, 2, 3 performance objective for me to achieve. Tax compliance, tax planning. Cukup. How many you need? 4, right? You need 4. But as a tax agent, I can only achieve 3. So how? Cannot finish my performance objective. Okay, so that's why you need to plan, alright? You need to plan your taxation. For example, if you think that you can achieve these 3 easily, 1, 2, 3 easily, alright, then you may look through, alright, from all these performance objective here, which performance objective is linked to your work, alright, and you can talk to your manager, alright, to arrange, alright, your duty, maybe, for 6 months for you to complete all the 4 technical. For example, other than doing taxation here in the tax department, I may also say, for example, here. Okay, number 6, I'm also in charge of preparing, alright, accounts for my clients. Say, for example, we have SME client, they want us to do simple accounts. So we record, we process transactions, alright, and we also produce the financial report, your SOPL, your SOFP, and so on. Alright, so you, other than taxation, you are also preparing the reports, right? The financial reports. Then you will easily get any of this here. Just pick 1 or 2 and 1 or 2 here. That's all, right? Not difficult, right? Very easy. Okay, so you realize that you don't basically have 4 PO under the same heading. Okay, because we want you to cross over to other field. For example, 3 plus 1 here. 3 taxation plus 1 management here, so that you're all rounder. Okay, you have different experience in your workplace, right? So that's the 5 essential and 4 technical performance objectives. Right. Next, come to the proof. You mentioned that you have achieved this target: tax computation and assessment. How do you prove it? Again. Right, to prove it, you have to write something, you have to describe, okay, how do you achieve the objective. And under this performance objective, there are 5 elements, right, that you have to fulfill. So in order to describe how do you achieve, you have to write a statement, and this statement will be around 200 minimum to 500 words, right, 2 to 500 words. Alright, just a minute. Okay, and this is how we show it in your My Experience, right? Log into your My ACCA, click My Experience, right? Now, then you go under this performance objective heading, click View Objective, right? And in your mind, you must have an idea which objective are you achieving. Right? Say, for example, if you look at this page here, you realize that some of the objectives, I'm sorry, it's a bit blur, is completed, right? It's completed, right? Now, if it's not completed or halfway, you will have like 1 element to go and so on, right? Now, you just choose the performance objective that you feel like you want to record, you click in, all right? Now, say I have choose I have choose one of the performance objective, right? They will show you the 5 elements that you have to fulfill in order to achieve for the performance objective, right? Each PO here, all right, have their unique elements here, right? Again, this is also stated in the booklet in detail, or you can log into your My ACCA and read through. It's already on the website, right? In the individual My ACCA. Okay, now once you start to record the objective, just click here, Start Objective. Okay, there's a place for you to write your statement here. Write this statement, the 2 to 500 words that I mentioned just now. All right, you can type your statement here. Okay, our advice here will be you basically can type your statement on your worksheet first. Maybe you're just on a Word file and check your grammar, spelling mistake, and so on. All right, type everything accordingly. If you have already done the checking, you just copy and paste it under this statement box here, right? So you do not need to stay online throughout the whole process of typing the statement. And because the box is very small here, sometimes it's not easy for you to type here, no spell check, right? And also sometimes, because of the internet, it's not stable or it's disconnection, then your work may be, disappeared. It's not safe, right? right? So what you do is you may want to save a copy in your Word file, then you just copy and paste here and submit. So at least you have a copy. Anything happens means you still have the Word file as a backup, right? This is how you record your performance objective, right? By typing your experience here. Now, so, okay, once you have typed the experience, you just claim the objective here. Okay, once you press the button claim objective, this objective will then flow to a basket, all right, on the top bar here. It's like how you add to cart, right? So during maybe the 7th of July, right? It's a shopping day for everyone, right? Like your Shopee cart. So your performance objective will be added to your cart here, all right? But if you have item in your cart, doesn't mean that this is your items yet, because you have to go into your cart and make the payment, right? Then only the goods become yours. Okay, so same idea. Now the PO here, you have already added to your cart, but in order for you to complete this PO, again, you need approval. All right, so you are going to select your, here, if again you see your practical experience supervisor, you put down their name here, all right, and you may want to type some comment or message to your supervisor. Okay, dear Mr. Tackle, right, this is my third performance objective that I have achieved, right? Kindly review and approve, for example, right? And you click submit, all right? Only when your supervisor approve your PO, then you are considered done with the one PO, all right? So meaning you have to do this repeatedly for 9 objectives because you have 9 PO here. Okay, you got me? Okay, so your supervisor will then get an email from ACCA, so he or she has to click in the link to view your writing and approve your PO, right? Now, I believe all of us here, all right, have a massive emails to read every day, all right? We have a lot of incoming emails, so if you have done this submission, probably you can take some courtesy to inform your supervisor to tell them that you have already submitted your PO and they are expect, all right, to receive email from ACCA. Otherwise, the email may just go to the junk mail, or they just overlook and it's just hanging there and forever not being approved. Right? Then your PO will be hanging. Okay, nothing will be completed. So please inform your supervisor, right, that you have already submitted. Right. So any question so far about PO, performance objective, and recording it in your My Experience?
Of course.
Yes.
This one need to be done one by one, is it?
Yes, have to done by one. The one that I showed you just now is only for one PO.
Oh, means cannot done all together lah. Need
Yes.
to done by one.
Yes, you have to do one by one. You're right. But of course, if you think that you have achieved 3 performance objectives during the first 3 months, for example, right, you can start the 3 performance objectives together. But still, for the submission, you submit one by one.
Okay.
Okay, right. So since I'm here, I have also some question here. So let me see. All right, for Iris Liu, all right, your question about the supervisor, yes, I'm going to cover this in a short while, all right? No need to write anything in the comment section. Which comment section? Comment to the supervisor. Oh, that one is optional, right? Optional for the supervisor submission. If the company has been liquidated, how to get the supervisor approval? Okay, now that's why you are advised to record your experience once you think that you have achieved, right? But if let's say you have been working for this company, maybe for the past 3 years, and they have like liquidated, right? Now, even though the company is liquidated, right, but your supervisor or manager, they may now are working with some other employers, right? You can still look for that supervisor or that manager and ask them to approve you personally. Even though they've left the company, it's okay. As long as during your working time in the company, they are supervising you. They are the one who are monitoring you. You can still get their help, right? Provided they are willing to do so lah, but usually they are okay, right? Okay, we have Jia Chun here asking whether we can claim PO exemption by joining ACCA approved employer. Okay, yes, actually yes, but how? I'm going to explain this also. I'm going to cover this in the second part of this session. Right? Okay.